Think positive.
Welcome, or welcome back to the Gulan Bros podcast, GA for short. I'm your host, Prince. This is a space for inner work, self-improvement, self-discovery, mindset, accountability, integrity, reflection, and personal development. This podcast is built for growth, for honesty, and for becoming a better version of yourself one day at a time. New episodes drop every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today's episode is called Opportunity Reveals Preparation. The idea of opportunity, the moment, the breakthrough, the chance to step into something bigger. But moments like that rarely appear out of nowhere. Most of the time, they collide with the work that has already been done. Opportunity reveals things, not about the moment, about the person standing in it. Because when something bigger suddenly appears, when the door opens, when the chance presents itself, something becomes visible. Preparation becomes visible. Discipline becomes visible. Confidence becomes visible. And sometimes the lack of those things becomes visible too. Because opportunity has a way of exposing what was happening long before the moment arrived. It reveals the habits that were built, the mindset that was developed, the discipline that was practiced, or the absence of those things. And that's what makes opportunity so powerful. It doesn't just change circumstances. It reveals who someone has been becoming the entire time. Because the moment itself doesn't create readiness, it exposes it. And in that moment, everything that was done beforehand suddenly matters. Every opportunity eventually reaches a moment of truth, the moment where someone either steps into it or hesitates, the moment where someone either moves forward or realizes they aren't ready. And that moment can be revealing. Because preparation doesn't happen when opportunity appears. Preparation happens long before that moment ever arrives. It happens in decisions that seem small, in habits that seem ordinary, in effort that often goes unnoticed. Over time, those things begin to build something. They build readiness. They build awareness. They build the ability to recognize the moment when it arrives. Because when opportunity finally appears, there is rarely time to start preparing. The moment is already there, and the question becomes simple. Is the person standing in that moment ready for it? Not every opportunity stays. Some moments appear and disappear just as quickly, not because they weren't real, but because readiness wasn't there. Because opportunity carries weight, responsibility, expectation, pressure, and when someone hasn't prepared for that weight, the moment can feel overwhelming instead of exciting. Sometimes opportunity doesn't feel like a reward. Sometimes it feels like pressure, like something bigger suddenly asking more from you, more focus, more discipline, more commitment. And if preparation hasn't built the ability to carry that, the moments can pass before someone fully understands what was standing in front of them. Preparation isn't just about skills. It's about identity. It shapes how someone thinks, how someone responds, how someone carries themselves when something bigger appears. Because preparation slowly builds a version of someone who can actually handle opportunity, not just receive it, but carry it. Preparation builds stability. It builds discipline. It builds the ability to stay focused when things become bigger than expected. Because opportunity often introduces responsibility. And responsibility requires strength. Not just excitement. Not just motivation, but real strength. The kind that comes from repeated effort. From discipline practiced over time. From showing up again and again, even when the results weren't visible yet. This is why opportunity is powerful. It reveals the unseen. It reveals the habits that were built, the discipline that was practiced, the mindset that was formed, or the absence of those things. Because when opportunity arrives, there's no hiding preparation. It becomes visible immediately. The way someone thinks becomes visible. The way someone responds becomes visible. The way someone carries responsibility becomes visible. And suddenly, everything that was happening behind the scenes begins to show itself. When preparation is real, something interesting happens. Opportunity doesn't feel overwhelming. It feels familiar. It feels like stepping into something that was already being built toward, because the work was already done. The discipline was already practiced. The growth was already happening. So when the moment appears, it doesn't feel impossible. It feels aligned, like a natural step forward. Because preparation slowly built the ability to stand in that moment without hesitation, without confusion, without fear taking control. Opportunity often looks exciting from the outside, but inside the moment, there is usually weight. Expectations begin to appear. Responsibilities begin to increase. Decisions suddenly matter more. Everything begins moving at a different level. Because opportunity doesn't simply open a door. It introduces a new level of responsibility. And that responsibility requires someone who is able to carry it. Someone who has already built discipline, already built focus, already built the mindset needed to move forward. Because without those things, opportunity can feel overwhelming instead of it being a gift. So, when opportunity appears, the real question isn't whether the moment is real. The real question is something else. Was the preparation real? Was the effort real? Was the discipline real? Because opportunity reveals the answer to that question immediately. There's no pretending in that moment, no delaying, no hiding from the truth of what was built beforehand. The moment simply shows what exists. And that's what makes preparation so powerful. Because preparation shapes who someone becomes before the moment ever arrives. Eventually, preparation and opportunity collide. The effort that was invested meets the moment that appears. The discipline that was practiced meets the responsibility that arrives. And suddenly, the work that was happening quietly becomes visible. Because the moment reveals it. It shows what was real, what was practiced, what was developed. And when preparation and opportunity finally meet, everything begins to move differently. Because readiness is no longer a question. It's already present. Moments like that have a way of showing something clearly. Not just what the opportunity is, but what the preparation actually produced. Because when the moment appears, there's no time to build new habits. No time to suddenly become disciplined. No time to develop the mindset the moment requires. Whatever was built beforehand is what shows up. The habits show up. The discipline shows up. The mindset shows up, or the absence of those things show up. Because opportunity doesn't give someone time to prepare, it reveals what preparation already created. And once that moment appears, the truth of that preparation becomes impossible to hide. And that difference becomes clear in moments like that. Because two people can stand in the same opportunity and experience it very differently. For one person, the moment feels natural. It feels like a step forward, something they are able to move into with clarity. But for another person, the same moment can feel overwhelming, confusing, heavy, not because the opportunity is different, but because the preparation behind it is different. Because preparation shapes how someone experiences opportunity. It shapes whether the moment feels possible or impossible, whether it feels like progress or pressure. And that difference is rarely created in the moment itself. It was created long before the moment ever arrived, in the habits that were practiced, in the discipline that was built, in the decisions that were made when nobody else was watching. Because preparation is not about the moment. It is about the person someone becomes before the moment ever arrives. Preparation is often quiet. It doesn't always look impressive. It doesn't always feel like a reward. Many times it simply looks like repetition, consistency, small improvements made over time. But those small moments are shaping something. They are shaping awareness. They are shaping discipline. They are shaping the ability to respond differently when life presents something greater. Over time, that shaping becomes real because habits begin to solidify, mindsets begin to change, confidence begins to form, not the loud kind, but the kind that comes from knowing the work was actually done, the kind that comes from knowing the preparation was real. Because when preparation is real, it changes how someone stands in opportunity. It changes how someone responds when the moment arrives. Moments like that eventually arrive in life, sometimes unexpected, sometimes quietly, sometimes in ways that are easy to overlook, but they arrive. A chance, a direction, an opening, something that wasn't there before. And in that moment, something begins to reveal itself, because the moment asks something simple. Can this be carried? Can the responsibility be handled? Can the opportunity actually be stepped into? And the answer to that question was being built long before the moment ever appeared. Because preparation answers questions that opportunity will eventually ask. Opportunity is often misunderstood. People imagine it as luck, timing, chance, something random that simply appears. But many times, opportunity is simply the moment where preparation becomes visible, the moment where everything that was practiced begins to matter, the moment where discipline begins to show itself, where habits begin to show themselves, where mindset begins to show itself. Because opportunity doesn't just introduce something new, it reveals something that was already there. And when preparation was real, that revelation becomes powerful. Because the moment no longer feels like something distant. It feels like something earned, not through luck, but through growth. That's the thing about opportunity. It doesn't ask for explanations. It doesn't wait for someone to become ready. It simply appears. And in that moment, there's no time to build discipline, no time to build preparation, no time to become the person the moment requires. Because that work was supposed to happen long before the moment ever arrived. Opportunity doesn't slow down to see who might become ready. It reveals who already is. And when that moment finally shows up, the truth becomes simple. Either preparation was real or it wasn't. I hope you found something worth taking with you today. Maybe a new perspective, maybe a moment to pause and reflect. Thank you for being here and sharing this space with me. Your presence matters. If this resonated with you, share it with someone you care about because growth spreads through connection. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Stay grounded. And as always, be safe.